Welcome everybody, Todd Costello from RE/MAX Center Realty here in State College, Pennsylvania. It is August of 2026, time for the monthly value message. And in this month's message, I just want to get everybody caught up on the current demand rate. We are now past peak season. And then a couple of mindsets that sellers need to be aware of as we go into the second half of the year. So let's get started. All right, tracking the demand rate year to date. The demand rate is the ratio of active buyers and sellers in the 4 school districts I track: State College, Bellefonte, Bald Eagle, and Penns Valley. And it's normal. It starts at 58%. Demand increases as we get into the spring market. And then at some month, April, May, occasionally June, the demand rate will peak. And then we'll come to the second half of the year. So note that the demand rate for July was 67%. That's 30% lower than it was in June. For sellers, that doesn't mean that your property is worth 30% less. It doesn't mean that at all. This is normal. The market does have a decrease in demand every year after peak. You just need to be aware of it, so in the second half of the year, you don't give yourself as much patience. Timing matters, and you want to take action and move towards the market if the market's not coming to you. So that's an update on the demand rate. Couple of mindsets for sellers. Pricing strategy. Oftentimes sellers have a thought in their head, a belief that their house is worth a certain amount. That's the could. The price could be that high. And if you act based on what could be the case, that increases risk. And then there's probably. Probably is what a professional agent like myself, studying the market, studying the regional macro demand rate, studying the average days on market, studying your market segment for your property. Is it the first half of the year, the second half of the year? Is inflation going up? Are interest rates going up or down? I take the total market data that we have access to, and I develop a probable price. So if you act on could, you're increasing risk. And if you act on probably, you're decreasing risk. So just understand that what you feel your home is worth isn't really relative. The data will dictate what your action should be, and therefore you'll get a better net result. So keep that in mind. And along these lines, pricing strategy could versus probably is days on market. So as an example, if I were to list your home on May 15th and the demand rate was 96%, I recommended $499 as a list price. You wanted to go with $525. You're the decision maker. I allowed it to happen that day, which is very rare for me. So we went with your list price of $525 on May 15th. 1 week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, maybe 2.5 or 3 weeks goes by. Clearly the market's not coming to us. We have to reduce the price to $515, a $10,000 reduction. Well, now we're halfway through June. And now maybe you're coming to the realization, hey, maybe Todd had a little more understanding of the market. Let me drop the price to $499. But at that point, you've been on the market for 30 days or more. So understand that the days on market, a list price of $499 with a days on market of 1. Out of the gate, you listed $499 versus a list price of $499, but your listing's been on the market for 28 days. That is not the same price. Days on market 1, the buyers don't know what's going to happen. They like your home. They want to react to it. But days on market 28, they're going to say, well, it started at $5.25. They dropped it twice. No one else wants it in 28 days, so I am not going to make a full price offer. So by starting off correctly, you keep the urgency and what's called the fear of loss. Buyers, humans act with the fear of loss is one of the greatest human motivators. So with days on market 1, if they like it, they're going to act on it. Days on market 28 at $499, they're like, well, it's been 28 days. So bottom line, just keep your pricing strategy in mind as we get into the second half of the year. Your home, your $499 home is still worth $499. The only thing is you can't make big mistakes with the pricing. You want to unveil it as close to probable as you can. That's this month's message. Any other questions, feel free to check me out at toddcostello.com, and I'll see you next time.